Aloha and Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a great New Year's Eve, great New Year's night, nice fireworks, nobody got hurt. I got something on the H-1B visa. It's going to be a little bit serious maybe at first, but we're going to do some funny stuff at the end. And it's a little bit edgy, so if you don't like funny or you don't like edgy funny, this might not be the video for you. Tell me, Pat. Oh.
Early in the U.S. is at the center of a divide in MAGA world. Proponents like Musk, himself a former H-1B holder, argue it helps the U.S. retain a competitive edge in the STEM fields, while hardliners such as activists like Laura Loomer insist the U.S. should prioritize American workers. H-1B visas capped at 85,000 new approvals annually, require employer sponsorship, and are granted for up to 6 years. In 2023, 72% of recipients were from India, followed by China, 12%, and the Philippines, 1%. The program does not provide a path to permanent residency as it grants only non-immigrant status. Tom, your thoughts on what's going on here with the H-1B visa debate?
So there's a lot of angles here, and a lot of angles to go. And so the first angle that I'm going to go with is, I like to say if you want to look at a problem, you got to go upstream a little bit, right? I talk about the polluted lake. Liberals want to build a $1 billion filter. Conservatives want to go upstream and say, hey, what are the creeks and rivers putting in the lake? And then stop it upstream. And
that is insane for him to say. There's capitalists and right-wingers who polluted the lakes in Ohio that caught on fire. But they push the cigarettes, the sugar, the lead in the gasoline. They want to put Band-Aids on stuff. The left is the one who looks upstream or downstream and finds the problem and wants to solve the problem. Even now with fossil fuels, the right still wants to push fossil fuels all hard, where they say it's going to kill the world. They don't care, but look upstream. Let's use solar. Let's use something else. But that's an outright lie right there. He's totally backwards on that.
It's a debate.
So there's a lot of angles here, and a lot of angles to go. And so the first angle that I'm going to go with is, I like to say if you want to look at a problem, you got to go upstream a little bit, right? I talk about the polluted lake. Liberals want to build a $1 billion filter. Conservatives want to go upstream and say, hey, what are the creeks and rivers putting in the lake? And then stop it upstream, and it's an easy way to the problem. The first thing that I think nobody was talking about over the weekend, and I think we should talk about it for a minute, is you got to go upstream. What is happening? Why aren't there? Now, some people will say there's plenty, and I saw that argument. Some people say there wasn't enough of American engineering graduates.
Why not?
Now, why wouldn't there be enough American engineering graduates?
Let's see. Our schools suck. We use property taxes to fund our schools so that people who are poor, the children don't get good schools, right? They have low property taxes. The people who are lucky enough to be born to rich parents have high property taxes, so they get to go to better schools. In America, we don't call it a caste system, but we kind of have a caste system, right? These rich people have nice rich schools. Poor people do not. So it's harder. Like if you can take any little kid, take them out of any home, a poor home, a rich home, and put them in the opposite or put them in the same home together, they're going to have similar outcomes. It's just kind of the way it works. But let's see. Is he going to talk about fixing the schools?
Oh, why can't they get into top schools? Huh. Interesting. Well, why can't they get into top schools? Well, let's look back to the Department of Justice, DOJ. That's our government, folks.
The Department of Justice. What does the Department of Justice have to do with our schools? Let's see.
That was under Biden, folks. Went after Yale University after a massive lawsuit was filed by a group of Asian families who said, we've been discriminated against for admissions in favor of other people of many colors. Yeah. And they were upset. And the Department of Justice looked at it and said, wait a minute. And the Asian suit had tons of facts and figures and some discovery things that they had found. So the U.S. Department of Justice looks into it and goes, huh, and went after Yale. So the U.S. Department of Justice filed a suit against Yale admissions, and all the discovery showed absolutely not opinion here. They were discriminating against whites and Asians that were American citizens in favor of people of many colors, particularly foreigners that maybe didn't have the same scores as some of these whites and Asians did.
Well, for the first part, that's kind of affirmative action, right? So America had DEI for white people its entirety and still really does, right? So to help black people or people of many colors kind of catch up or get to where they should be, get represented at least closer to 10% or 13% of the population. So we should at least be about 10% represented in most places, most fields. So we should, what was this?
In the United States, because the foreign.
Oh yeah, affirmative action. So to catch up to that 10% to where we were, 1% or less. We're less than 1% in like Silicon Valley and all the important parts of when they're talking about this H-1B visa stuff. We need schools in the poor neighborhoods to have these black kids like eligible to go to Yale, qualified to go to Yale. We don't need to wait till they're already trying to go to Yale, already graduated from high school, and then try to say, hey, you're not qualified for this, but we're going to put you here anyway. That's just stupid.
Justice filed a suit against Yale admissions, and all the discovery showed, absolutely not opinion here, they were discriminating against whites and Asians that were American citizens in favor of people of many colors, particularly foreigners that maybe didn't have the same scores as some of these whites and Asians did in the United States, because the foreign people most often were paying full boat. What's full boat? Paying full price. What's full?
So capitalism, they wanted money. These guys are big-time capitalists. PBD, the first guy, he's an insurance salesman. Or he was an insurance salesman before now he does this, obviously. But these guys are pure capitalists talking about, oh, the capitalists got in. Yeah, that's what you want.
Full price. They weren't getting financial aid because they were wealthy people from around the world. So guess what?
Right. Wealthy people from here get to do more. Wealthy people from around the world get to do more. That's what capitalism is. It's a caste system. The rich people get to... There are no borders for rich people. Guys, this is crazy.
If you don't give them financial aid, what gets bigger? Your endowment. Because you don't have to give financial aid
So
or
more capitalism.
scholarships based on merit. So you see how that ecosystem works? So
when it's the CEO of an insurance company that gets shot, they talk about, oh, it's business, it's business. He's trying to make money because that's what capitalism does. So when a school makes money, it's bad?
the schools discriminating against. So now what does that mean? Well, now there's a shortage of U.S. citizen, and not just white and Asian engineers, because it wasn't just happening in Yale, it's happened at other places.
Not just white, but
so
Asian.
the supply is
These
down
dudes.
because schools have been discriminating against U.S. citizen.
So this is the man that said if there's pollution in the water, look upstream, right? Look upstream, find who's polluting the water. This guy says there's not enough American engineers. Where do we go? He goes to Yale. He goes to one of the top, most elite colleges in the world. Harvard, whatever. Those top schools, those aren't where most of the people are going to go. And anyway, just going to college in general, he went upstream a little bit. Go all the way upstream. Go to, first, nutrition for kids. Your brain needs to be fed to develop. Your body needs to be fed to develop. Nutrition for kids is the start. Preschool. Then school K through 12. It needs to be elite. It needs to be the best. We talk about we're the best country in the world, all this BS, but we don't educate our kids. Say we were the best country in the world at one time. Now that we educate our kids the way that we do, we're not going to stay the best country in the world, are we?
And now the supply is down. That is a fact, absolute fact, including and discovery brought by U.S. Department of Justice. Now then, you go into part two. Okay.
So part one. He didn't even go halfway upstream. He just went to the notch right there. We're hiring people, we're bringing them in. What's one step back from there? College, where they graduate, where they're coming from. Okay, that's not very far upstream, my dude. You could have gone way upstream to the very beginning when they were born and how we take care of these kids from birth to application, right? Birth to the job. That's how you make the best the best people, you guys, man. But see, they don't care. They don't care about kids. They just care about the business, right? Once you're ready for the business, then we worry about you.
That doesn't mean that H-1Bs are innocent. They're not. I looked at it up, and H-1Bs, they do underpay often. They do lock up a person with their sponsor, so it's very hard
I want to get to the...
Tech companies often hire foreign...
But those are my 3 points.
We'll be on this topic for a while. Rob, can you pull up Vivek's tweet real quick?
Vivek's
tweet that I retweeted and I got community notes. I want to show the whole thing for the audience to see what happened the last couple of days. But first, go to his tweet. So
Mean
Vivek
tweet.
posts this tweet. If you go under my account, you'll see. Keep going down, keep going down, keep going down, keep going down, keep going down. Right there. Go to his tweet first, and then you'll come back to mine. Let me read this to you. This upset a lot of people, but let's process it. The reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over native Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficit, a lazy and wrong explanation. A key part of it comes down to the C word, culture. Tough questions demand tough answers, and we're really serious about fixing a problem. We have to confront the truth. American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long, at least since the 90s and likely longer. That doesn't start in college, it starts young. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. That upset a lot of people. But he's not wrong is the question. Is he wrong
he's
with that statement?
Not wrong.
Okay, let's continue.
Not wrong.
Culture that venerates Corey from Boy Meets World or Zack and Slater over Screech in Saved by the Bell or Stefan over Steve Urkel in Family Matters will not produce the best engineers. Fact, I know multiple sets of immigrant parents in the 90s who actively limited how much their kids could watch those TV shows precisely because they promoted mediocrity. And their kids went on to become wildly successful STEM graduates. More movies like Whiplash. He
That's
continues
crazy,
to go,
Whiplash.
and then most normal Americans' parents look skeptically at those kinds of parents. More normal American kids view those kinds of kids with scorn. If you grew up aspiring to normalcy is what you will achieve. Now close your eyes and visualize which families you knew in the 90s who raised their kids according to one model versus the other. Be brutally honest. Normalcy doesn't cut in the hyper-competitive market. He continues to go, Rob, if you can go right there. A culture that once again prioritizes achievement over normalcy, excellence over mediocrity, nerdiness over conformity, hard work over laziness. That's the work culture we have cut out for us, rather than wallowing in a victimhood and just wishing or legislating alternative hiring practices into existence. Look at the amount of you.
So here's where we're going to get a little more controversial. If you have super thin skin, probably don't keep watching. Go to the next video.
Vivek Ramsway said Americans are the new DEI in America compared to immigrants.
What was that?
Vivek Ramsway said Americans are the new DEI in America compared to immigrants.
Why did he say that?
He said affirmative action is bad and Americans are less qualified than immigrants because immigrants work harder. He then went to Twitter and said, I thought we hated DEI.
How are people responding to that?
Americans as a whole, but more specifically, white Americans are stating, look what you've done to us. Poisoned our foods, destroyed our community, taken our jobs and opportunities from us. You talk bad about us, we deserve these opportunities.
That's very ironic.
How is that ironic?
Because that sounds like a lot like the black community, only it was called victimizing.
I know, but feels like every day I'm being gaslighted. Like people think I'm a bad person without even knowing. They assume these negative stereotypes. All I do is contribute to society. Okay. Don't get me started on
Moving
the police.
past that, I understand your pain.
Do you?
I know your pain.
And to top it all off, I thought Trump was going to do something about this. I just wanted old America back, but it's only getting worse. These billionaires are taking over.
It seems like Trump doesn't need MAGA anymore, so why would he pretend?
But we're the reason he even got to be president in the first place. He wouldn't just leave us. Why is he supporting H-1B?
I think the problem is everybody thought Trump was for MAGA, but Trump is actually for the billionaires that support him, who will also happen to be
So
MAGA.
basically, we're at the bottom of the totem pole because we're not billionaires like his friends. Why would he do
Because
that?
this has been a class war for the longest. It hasn't been left versus right. It's been top versus.
This is where he's wrong. Left versus right. It is left versus right. It is class war. It's the same thing. The right wants to organize society through capitalism, through a representative money, a resource representative system, right? The left wants to base the system on people and people's needs. So it doesn't matter how much money you have, your needs will be met. In capitalism, or the right wing, you can obtain as much money as you want, and money has power, right? Money has say. So it is a top versus bottom thing, but it is a right versus left thing. The left doesn't even want money in the system. The right wants money in the system, wants the system ran by money. So yes, it is very much that.
Because this has been a class war for the longest. It hasn't been left versus right. It's been top versus down. You've just been duped into thinking the billionaire wants to help the non-billionaire.
Look, I understand the only way billionaires get richer is if the poor gets poorer, but Trump's not like that. He's going against everything he said.
The billionaire wants to help you,
right?
so long as it benefits him in some
Like
way.
getting our
if
votes?
it doesn't, he's going to benefit the other billionaires.
Like Elon Musk?
Because this is going to benefit him in some way.
But he said he wanted to make America great again. Why is America attacking Americans? Why am I suffering in my own country?
The black community has asked that question for years.
No.
Why do black people suffer the brunt of attacks left and right in American society for no reason when they haven't done anything to nobody?
You mean the same stereotypes that said black people were poor because they're lazy, not because their communities kept getting destroyed and opportunities were purposely being held from them?
Absolutely. And now these same stereotypes are being said about white America.
So it really has been rich versus poor, and the only color in America is green? Are you telling me you've been living this way the whole time? Oh my God! We need a change!
Like I said, we're in a new day and age, but now's the time for people to come together as a...
Like he said, the only color that matters. Jeez, the only color that matters is green. Yes, that's true. We need to change this. Okay, if you want to change the system, you want a no money system. You don't want money. You want to come to the left, my dude.
Day and age, but now's the time for people to come together as Americans and understand this is a class war. It's been a class war.
Come together, workers. Come together and unite. Is that what the left has been saying for how long?
Even though affirmative action barely benefits black people, it's still black people's fault. He's not a black person because the job is DI. And he's not a black person stands up for themselves, they're violent. No matter what happens, full circle is still gonna come back to black people. I'm already divided and conquered.
So I hope that wasn't too offensive to you. If it was, you need to hang up now because it's going to be much more offensive. This is an ode from Elon Musk to your feelings.
You thought you'd keep this job for life, but times have changed and so's the price. You want the perks, you want the rest, but I don't pay for second best. They'll take the grind, they'll work the load, they sign the deal, they crack the code, while you sit back demanding more. They've walked right in and locked the door. Fuck your feelings, cash is king. Cheaper hands will do the thing. You're not special, you hit the ceiling. Now suck it up.
Fuck your feelings. Look at him sitting on his money, amount of cash.
You wrote the lines, you built the dream, but now your cost is breaking seams. They don't complain, they don't resist. They do the job without all the lift. Your worth is gone, the math is clear. Your time is up, they're already here. You cry it's cruel, but here's the deal. They're the future, you're just the wheel. Fuck your feelings, cash is king. Hands will do the thing. You're not special, you hit the ceiling. Now suck it up.
Fuck your feelings. It's pretty good though. Oh, DT right there.
They burn the night, they take the fall. They'll never stop, they give their all. You're asking why, but it's plain to see. The game has changed. It ain't for free.
It ain't for free, y'all. Never has been.
You wanted clout, you made demands, but cheaper minds now run the land. They build my dream, they've got the will. You're second class next to their skill. Fuck your feelings, cash is king. Cheaper hands will do the thing. You're not special, you hit the ceiling. Now suck it up. Fuck your feelings.
That's so good.
Fuck your feelings, cash is king. Cheaper hands will do the thing. You're not special, you hit the ceiling. Now suck it up.
Fuck your feelings.
Fuck your feelings.
Burn it down. So that is what we need to do. We need to burn it down. Nah, don't go burn nothing down. That was just funny stuff. If you got offended, I apologize. Please, just jokes, just jokes. I didn't make them anyway. I was just viewing them, looking at them. But that was our first video of the new year. I hope you guys have a great year. Like, share, subscribe. Tell people about me if you like this content. Share it out there. Trying to build up. Until I'll be back today, I'm sure. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Have a good one. And keep looking at things from across the spectrum.